Alright then folks, welcome back to the channel and another new video. We are jumping straight back into this thing. We are going to be doing some more rust repairs in this episode. So for anyone that is new to the channel, this is my 1992 Mark V Escort Rs2000. We bought this thing as a WRC Escort Cosworth replica. In previous episodes we have stripped off all the Cosworth body kit because it wasn't fitted particularly well. We have done multiple repairs on the driver's side. We've just recently removed the engine and completely stripped out everything from the car and popped it on a chassis table in preparation for what's happening in the future. Exciting times. In this episode we are going to be tackling this sill area here. Now, as I highlighted in a previous episode, as you can see there, someone has quite literally slapped a new sill repair panel straight over the top of whatever's behind there. I dread to think. And not only have they done that, but they've also bunged a load of silicone sealant all the way across as well. So we know what this thing's like. I'm not expecting to find anything nice underneath that. So without further ado, we've got the grinder ready. We are going to strip back all of this silicone sealant first and foremost, get it back down to the bare weld so we can see what we're actually working with, and then we'll start making some cuts. So stay tuned and we'll see what delights we've got hiding in this thing this time. Look at some of those monster booger welds there. My god. Well, at face value, so far we're off to a good start. There's no real damage around here like there was on the other side. There is a little hole there and it's gone for ever so slightly there, but most of all of that will get covered or dealt with, should I say, when the new sill panel goes on. But as you can see, the welds are just mad. No one's tried cleaning them back or anything. But again, some of the welds are just huge, man. But they've plug welded certain areas and then welded the seams together in other areas. So it's going to make it really bloody difficult to get this off. So yeah, I'm going to sit here and grind all these back. I won't make you guys watch all that. I'll get these all ground back to a point of where I feel like I might be able to separate the panels, and then we'll move on to trying to cut this out, because I'd like to remove this panel by itself and see what's underneath there. And it looks like we're going to have another stab at making one of these A-post panels again, because that's actually gone through there. So hopefully I can remember how I done that on the other side, and we'll make a new section to go in there. We'll see how far back that goes once we get everything else out of the way. Yeah, leave it with me. I'll grind them welds back and I'll pick you back up when we're ready to start cutting this thing out. Right, it's time then, folks. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very hopeful. All that rust all over the floor, and that is just from picking apart the lower section. I've not even looked inside there yet. So I'm gonna put you on the tripod. We shall cut along here, we'll whip this panel off and we will see what the lights are hiding in there. God help me. Right, let's get this off. Yeah, the suspicions have been confirmed, folks. There is still an original sill underneath that. I mean, why? I mean, it's not like this repair panel is a cheap one, it's a proper magnum panel. So why not just spend that, I don't know, half hour longer and cut all of that out? I don't know, man. It makes no sense to me, it really doesn't. I mean, I get it, MOT tests and whatnot, you've just got to slap a panel in, blah blah blah. Just, I don't know, charge a little bit more and just do it right. It just don't make sense to me. Yeah, well, let's cut the rest of this out, because that's no good to me. I'm going to cut it short. I'm going to cut down here and then I'll try and grind back what's left of this, so I'm back to the original panel. Once all this is out the way, I'll see what this piece is like, because rather than cutting out the entire thing, I think I might just try and patch in the areas that need patching in. Like there is a little bit just there as well. But first and foremost, we'll get this panel off and we'll see what it's looking like underneath and go from there. Hopefully it's not as bad as the other side. So yeah, right, I'll drink my coffee and we'll get cracking straight back on with it. We got a boober again. This thing is literally kicking my ass. I managed months and months working on the Quattro Escort, not one incident. This thing, less than 2 months, and I've already hurt myself twice. This time though, thanks to the grinder. Use the guards on your grinder, because otherwise you end up with a deep cut in your finger like I've got now. Don't. Right, anyway, I'm waffling. What have I been doing? I have been cleaning up certain areas. I've drilled out these spot welds here. I wanted to try and see where this rust went, although to be honest it only really seems to be like surface rust around here, so I'm hoping I'm going to get away with that. Obviously need to repair this section here and then all of this lip along here. all this rust here, again, only really seems to be surfaced rust at the moment, but I've not really got into it too much. So we'll investigate that further another night. And then you can see Ford's attempt at rust prevention, a bit of wax oil. Not that it done much to help this car, eh? And then moving down, I will be cutting off this section after all, because I want to put a new section in from here to here like I did on the other side, so all of this needs to go in order to do that, and it saves me having to just make these silly little repairs anyway. So yeah, we'll cut all that out. Again, like the other side, I'm going to have to cut out all of this inner section here and replace that, and then there's a little repair to do just down here. Not as bad as the other side, to be fair, but that is where we're at. I've been grinding off all this panel that was overlaid here, so now that's back to the original, and then we've got something to work to here now. Try and keep the new panel weld line below the side skirt. So yeah, good progress tonight I think, but I'm gonna head off home now because it's quite late, and I could probably do with cleaning all the gump out of that cut really before it gets infected. Right, I'll pick you guys back up next time down here.
You got me feeling like a firebolt high in the sky, looking like a thunderstorm, boy. Here we go, 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 go. You're easy to remember, so hard to forget. Baby, it's a coward way you strut. How could I not worship every inch your feet have touched? Baby, run away with me. You kill it lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe. There's only one of you, baby. Run away with me. Don't leave me lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe. There's no more clouds on the freeway. Now tell me you'll stay. Golden hour lasts all day. Here we go, go, go. Rose bed, fancy hotels, girl, you know. Baby, run away with me. You kill it lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe. There's only one of you, baby. Run away with me. Don't leave me lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe. And we'll stay in bed all day. Make love in every way. Baby, run away with me. You kill the lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe. Oh, baby, run away with me. Don't leave me lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy. You make my heart believe. You make my heart believe. Run away with me. You kill the lonely. You make my eyes unsee. All the crazy.
Well, here we are then folks, status update. I have been working away on this thing all evening, and I've just realised I haven't actually said a word to you guys on camera at all tonight. So here we go, that is the destruction for tonight. Now I have to give a shout out to the old trusty Dremel once again, 'cause it made life so much easier for getting in these little nooks and crannies. So yeah, great little tool they are. If you haven't got one, invest in one because they're brilliant. So these here are all the panels that I've now got to make. So that one goes in there. Obviously I spoke way too soon with this, thinking I was going to get away with not having to cut all this stuff out, but as you can see it's a little worse for wear, and the car obviously had other ideas for me as it always does. But that is that one. Need a new piece to go in there. Again, that is pretty well pitted and well buggered, and then I'm hoping I can remember how I made this on the other side, because I'm going to have to make a new one for this side as well. But again, as you can see, it's pretty well buggered, but that obviously goes up inside there. So dropping everything now, and then we've got this piece that needs to go back in there. Back of that is actually in pretty good shape. This piece down here, however, that does need to be replaced because that is pretty well buggered as well. So yeah, that one's pretty easy. I've been going through all of this. I've cleaned up all the wax oil stuff that was in here. Cheat code, if I haven't already told you before, is paint thinners. If you get a rag and paint thinners, it gets that stuff off in no time. It's brilliant. We've got this little panel here. I had to cut this out, annoyingly, which is more than I wanted to cut out, because obviously, as you can see, that's my line there for the new outer sill. But I had to cut that out because this piece, which goes roughly here, as you can see, is right there. So I had to access that to get all that out. But obviously all this panel needs to be replaced as well. So it'd be the same deal as what I've done on the other side. New bit of steel, dimple dyed, blah blah blah. And then over here we do have a little bit of good news. This inner arch piece is actually pretty good. There's no real rot until you get down to the bottom here. But it does look like, from these little holes that are just in here, there is a patch that's been welded on from this other side. So I'll have to dig into all that undersill at some point and find out what that is, because in an ideal world I'd like to repair whatever it is I need to repair on that before I fit this panel back in, once I've made the new panel at least. So yeah, a very destructive evening, but we've made some good progress at least, so happy days. But like I say, it is very late now, so I'm going to head off home and I'll pick you guys back up when we're ready to head to the bench and start making some new bits and pieces. See you then. Well, I thought we'd have a little interlude between doing all these bits and pieces. So obviously you've just seen me do these replacement parts, so that is for that one. Obviously these will need like a bit of final fettling when they go in the car, and then obviously that piece is to replace that one. So that is all good. Now I've just been working on this piece here, which is to replace that one. So this needs to return back as it does there, so it meets up with the inner wheel arch, and I have obviously left myself enough material to make up for the lack of there. So what we need to do now is bend that back at a 45 and then that back down at a 45 to meet the inner sill, and then this bit here is obviously to replace all that rotten section. And obviously I will be going back through and doing some dimple dies through this like I did on the other side. So yeah, it's getting there. But in the meantime, I have just been making up this piece, which is for John's Mark 1 Escort as it goes. So I went to the toilet and saw that he had marked up a piece on his door, and I thought, well, sod it, something a bit different, I'll have a go at making that. So this has very much just been a case of bend it over the table and then hammer form that curve there over a bit of spare pipe I had lying around. So we're going to size that up on his car now. And that is the offending article there. Apologies for the light, because it is absolutely terrible in here at the minute. But that is to go over and replace that rotten section beneath. So I'll leave that for him to sort out tomorrow. Seeing as I'm always bending his ear with all my stupid ideas, I figured I'd do something to help him out. But I don't think I've ever actually shown you guys this end of the workshop. So here it is. All sorts of cool stuff in here usually. You've got a wicked little Toyota in here. That's Toyota Corolla, that's pretty wicked. It's on twin 45s I believe. Not that you can see because it's stupid dark. That underneath the cover there is a Mark 1 Toyota Starlet, I think. The engine's still being rebuilt because it had a 2.3 Pinto I think, and then the block split. This is John's Mark 1 Escort. Typical scenario of being told that it was good, had it blasted, and it turned out to be anything but. So he's got a whole new back panel going on. He's already replaced all the boot floor, done various repairs down in the wells here. What's he working on at the minute? Obviously trying to fit the boot up at the moment. But like I say, all repairs down there, new sills, new lower section to the door, various bits and pieces going on inside. He's made a tunnel for his exhaust, and then all up round the front, whole new front panel going on, which is there, new wings, basically a resto job really. But yeah, that thing's pretty cool. Then we've got a Ford Angular with a tube chassis on the chassis table there. And this is one of John's customers' Mark 1 Escorts. Very, very nice. Makes me so jealous every time I walk in here and see that. That engine over there with the throttle bodies, the Z-Tech one, is going in that. So that should be pretty cool. It's already been dyno tested, that engine, and it made about 198 I think. And then this is another one of his customer cars. Again, this is, I think it's a 2 litre Pinto with throttle bodies going in this one. And then that is John's Toyota Starlet drag car, which is still here. So yeah, that's a little insight into what's behind me when I'm doing all these videos. And then there's this motorbike here. Someone did ask me about this in a previous video. Honestly, I've forgotten to ask him what it is. So hopefully one of you guys will know. I think it's a Yamaha, but that's another one of his toys that he's been playing with, various bits. I think it's going to be a track bike. So yeah, there's a little tour of the workshop. And obviously you've seen the Toyota Starlet oval track car, stock car. So yeah, all going on in there. There's always some cool stuff in here. It's ideal working down here. But I digress. We need to get on with what I need to get on with. So let's get this in the bender and we'll try and form this up, and we'll start getting some dimple dies in there. there she is, ready to rock and roll. I can't do the dimple dyeing just yet because the presses around the corner are all covered in stuff at the moment, so rather than messing around moving all that stuff, I'm just going to bring my own one down here tomorrow and then I'll press them in myself. But as you can see, it's pretty bloody cold, so for the minute I'm just going to start tacking this piece in. I will have to cut it back out to paint it all up and whatnot. That piece there actually fits like a glove, so that is already in paint. Once that's dried, that can then go in. But like I say, we're just going to start tacking this one in, start tapping it into place. Once it's fully where it needs to be, I'll cut the welds back out, paint it up, and then we'll weld it in properly. So that is the next step on the agenda. Let's do it. There we go. That bit then tacked in, all nestled into place properly, and then cut back out, currently in paint. I've just painted all of that A post as well. I've got a bit inside there. I've just been cleaning out all the wax oil. So yeah, that's all bare in there now with some paint on it. So I'll let that go off tonight, and then I'll come back in tomorrow and I'll weld all that in, and we'll get cracking on finishing off that other back piece as well. So I'll see you then. Oh, I love it when new metal starts going in. Obviously that's that patch in, that's that patch in. We do still need to work on this little lower piece here, but we'll get to that another time. But whilst all that has been going off and whatnot, I thought I'd look into what this patch was that I could see from the other side of here when I started cutting all that apart. Now I'm going to have to make a new piece to go from here to there with a return lip back into the crevice there. And I need to make a new bit to go across here, and then a new flange to go up here, just so my sill will then run down and connect onto that. So I'm going to try and make that all in one piece rather than making several little infill bits. I'm not going to worry about this bit here because inevitably this is all going to be getting lost at some point, so there's no point in making a piece for that and then cutting it back out. So yeah, we need to get some templating material out, get that templated, and then once we've done that, we can then get this welded in, which has taken about an hour and a half, 2 hours to dry, because it is so cold in here at the moment. This workshop is freezing. So let's get some cardboard out, stop waffling, and we'll make a piece for that, move on to fitting that, and then we'll return back to this section and make that new piece to go in there. It's all going on. Right, let's do it. Let's warm up a bit. Well, I've been slacking hard, folks, but we've finally got somewhere. We finally got this piece in now, so that is all good. All welded in, all ground back and blah blah blah. And we've also done this new piece for inside here, which has then given me my lip back here for the outer seals to then rest on. So yeah, that is looking good. Next up is going to be making this new piece to go in here, which is that piece there. As you can see, there's multiple bends and shapes and all sorts going on with that. If you watched the last episode, you would have seen I've made that all in one piece, whereas this time I'm going to make it in two pieces. So this flange along here is going to be one piece, and then all of this bit up the top round here is going to be another piece, and then I'll weld them together. I think the last one I was on about 3.5 hours or so, so I'm just experimenting really, just to see how much quicker that would be, if quicker at all. So no harm in trying something new, eh? So what we need to do is get over to the bench, clear up my mess, get some fresh metal out, make a template and start bashing some metal about. Let's get on with it. Well, we're officially late with this one, folks. I'm afraid we've had a man down situation in here. I've not been well. I've had to take a couple of days off, well, basically like a week now, just to try and get myself better and all that lot. But I have been trying to get down here and doing little bits. So I did try and make this section here, minus the flange, as I said earlier, because I was trying to do this in two pieces to see if it worked out any better. But as you can see, it didn't. So I don't know what I was thinking with that piece. My head's just not been in it at all. And then that piece, yeah, again, just no good. So the plan now is I'm just going to go ahead with a fresh new bit of metal, and we're going to do it the same as we did the last one, mark it all out, and we're just going to do it all in one piece. So we'll use the old tipping die here on the bead roller. We'll tip that over as much as we can, use the shrinker and stretcher as well as we did in the last one, and we'll just make all this in one piece. I'm still not 100% with it. My head's still a bit in a jar at the moment, so yeah, bear with me. I'll drink my coffee and we'll dive straight back into it and hopefully get this done, because this car has been sitting like this for way too long now and I need to get that done. It's driving me nuts. That's all I can think of at the moment. I just need to get that done and then we can move on to something else. So bear with me, I'll drink my coffee and then we'll get back to it. And there we have our new piece. Now what I'm going to do, as per the other episode when I've done the seals, I'm going to chuck this into the stretcher, and then I'm going to stretch around this mark here, so that when I come to tip it over and get that shape there, it's not going to start distorting here. I will need to put it in multiple times and stretch this area and then probably shrink this area a little bit, but that will come as and when I need to do it. So yeah, we'll chuck this in there and then we shall move over onto that and start hopefully trying to get this shape somewhere where we want it. Oh, I thought this stuff was meant to get easier the more you do it, but I'm actually struggling with this one. Well, I have been struggling. It's actually starting to get somewhere now. So that is where we're up to so far. I don't know if I'll be able to pick it up in camera. I think I just about can, but there's a little divot here as well. So I've just imitated that on that piece. Obviously we've got that bend there, which I just need to sort of dent in a little bit more because it's not quite there yet, as you can possibly see. So yeah, I just need to dent that in a little bit more, and then what we're going to work on next is this radius here between the flange and this piece, because I don't know if I'll be able to pick it up on camera, but that's actually quite a sharp little radius there, whereas what I've got on my piece is nowhere near. So I basically need to fold this edge over a little bit more so it's more in keeping with what I've cut out of the car, and then we're more or less good to go. I just need to create a little bend there, which is that one there. Again, it's really hard to try and, there you go. It is quite hard to show you guys this stuff on camera, to be fair. So yeah, I just need to create that little bend there on this piece as well. Fold that over, and then we are good to go. But yeah, my head's not quite with it still. How the hell I don't need to wear a jumper? I'm only wearing my t-shirt and my body warmer in December. It's almost bloody Christmas and I'm wearing a t-shirt. Must be sick, man. Right, coffee, and then we'll crack straight back on with it.
Don't let go. Chasing a dream.
Oh yeah, we're there, we've done it. So I'm not going to bother going to town replicating that bit on this one, because let's face it, you're never going to see this thing again anyway. There's no point in going radio rental with it. But that is it for the most part. Any eagle-eyed viewers might be able to notice that I have had to weld a bit in there, because like an idiot, and I'm not thinking straight at the moment, I actually cut that off a little bit too short. So yeah, definitely not got my head in the game at the minute, folks. But that is more or less it. So if I pop that in there, it is not a million miles away from where it needs to be. So as you can see, there's just that top corner there. I'm just going to have to basically tack this in and tap it into place once it's in the car. But generally speaking, it's pretty much there. It's taken me all evening to do that because I've just been flitting around, and yeah, my head's just not in it at the moment. But that needs to go in there, and then we're good. We can call that part done and then move on to the rest of that section there, and then we can start doing all the outer pieces and blah blah blah. But it's super late now, so I'm going to go home. I'm going to go and have a shower, go and have some rest, and then tomorrow I should only have half a day at work, and then it's my last day before Christmas, so hopefully I'll get back here in the afternoon and we can start tackling that and then move on to the next bit. So I shall see you then.
Don't let go. Chasing a dream. What you do? Don't go. Chasing a dream. What you do?
A post is done and looking pretty good. So we're all sorted there now, and I did just get carried away and I welded that piece back in as well, but I forgot to film that. Nope. So next up is going to be making a piece from here to roughly here, I think, and then we have to make that bit separate like we did last time. So that is going to be a job for tomorrow, because I'm literally just about out of memory card at the minute, so I need to offload a load of stuff on my laptop. I'll come back down here tomorrow and we'll carry on. And some YouTube magic later, and we are back. You have to excuse the noise because John's over there porting a cylinder out at the minute. So as I said all of a second ago to you guys probably, I need to make this bit now. Now my metal folder that I use to do that is only 600mm long, so I can only work to 600, and then I need to make this bit separate. So we get that sized up, move over to the machine, cut a bit of metal out, and then we'll get folding. There we go, we're almost ready to weld this in now. Just need to let that primer go off and then we're good to rock and roll. But what I'm going to do in the meantime whilst that's going off is, where I've drilled out all these spot welds, I've gone into this other panel ever so slightly, so I'm just going to go over these and just fill them back out with weld and then linish them off, just so there's not little cavities for moisture or anything and rust to start forming again. Because as I said before, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing with this panel yet, if I'm going to be reusing it or not, so I might as well tackle that whilst I've got the accessibility to it, and then we can move on to welding in that other piece. So yeah, we're winning folks, we are winning. So another piece of the puzzle in, folks. I did have a change of heart on this one. I did end up, as you would have seen, I spot welded that in just because I noticed over on that side where I've done that, it's actually almost fused itself to this back panel anyway. So I think regardless of what I do, I will utilise this panel and maybe just cut it along this sort of bend here and make a new piece going down as and when I get to that in the future. But now what we need to do, very much the same as the last one, I need to make a section to go in here, but I need to transition from this sort of bend to that bend. So we'll get a template knocked up and then we'll move on to this next, and then we're not far off really getting all this outer skin put on now. So let's get on with that and we'll see where we end up shortly.
Oh,
we're all done on the centre skin now then, folks. And as you would have seen, I've welded in this little piece that I had cut off extra. So that's now in. I just need to obviously cut where I need to cut for the outer skin, which I have just been doing some little repairs on where it's been through the press to make the panel. Various bits are creased and whatnot, so I've just slit it just to lose the crease and then basically welded it back up. Just makes it look a bit nicer. Also cleaned off a dirty great big sticker that was stuck on there. So it is now a case of popping that panel across here, scribe it all in and get her welded in. So without further ado, I'm going to drink my coffee, I'm going to pop you on the tripod and we're going to get cracking. We're getting that on there. We're almost there. Woo! Well, I tripped at the final hurdle, folks. We're almost there, and then I've gone and messed up. Dolt. So yeah, I'll have to make like a little patch to go in there or something or other. But once I hold all this in place where it needs to be welded, all these gaps do close up. It's just sort of sagging down at the moment. But yeah, she's there. Door shut line is all good all the way across. And then all up around here, I do still need to make a little patch to go in here to replace the one that I cut out, but that only comes down to about here. It doesn't actually join the A post to the sill, so that only needs to go to about there, and then this just joins to the sill about here. But yeah, we're there. So next step then is going to be take the door off, take the sill back off, clean it all up, paint it all, stuff it back in, start welding it in. Let's go. Well, my bad, folks. I kind of completely got lost in the moment and didn't realise my battery on my GoPro had died. So we've managed to get a good way through this, and I haven't been able to show you guys. So I made the little infill bit for there. That's all good. It's all welded up round here. All the spot welds in the door opening are all done. All round here is welded. And all round here, like I said before, I still need to make a little infill patch to go in here, so I'll get on with that at some point. Done some of the spot welds along down here, and then we are now tackling the rear. So I'm just doing spot welds here, there and everywhere, just to try and stop the heat getting into it too much. And then once that's done, I'll pin this sill back and we'll get on with all of these spot welds down here and the couple just inside the wheel arch there. So yeah, like I say, I've got a little lost in the moment. It is now just gone 12 o'clock in the evening. So I need to go home and have a bath and yeah, go and get some sleep. So I'll pick you guys back up tomorrow when we're ready to finish this thing off. So I'll see you then. there we go. What an absolute challenge that has been, but we have made it through the other end, folks. And again, you can hardly tell where I've welded across here, which is nice. So that is all good. There's a little bit of a discrepancy here between the door and this line here, but you've got to remember that line is original here. I'd never actually cut that out. So that's obviously an ongoing situation that I never even realised. But in terms of what I fitted, the door shut gap is pretty good all the way along, really. So again, as I said with the other side, ignore this flappy bit that's hanging down. I will go back and cut all that off at some point later down the line. But yeah, she's looking good, man. It is so nice to be out the back of this project. This one's taken a fair old chunk of time, I tell you. So all inside the door is good. Yeah. And with that, folks, we're going to call it a wrap for this episode. So I'd just like to thank you very much for watching, and I'd like to take this moment as well just to say thanks for all the support and love that I've had throughout the year, because yeah, it's been fantastic. I appreciate all your comments. I do try and reply to all of them, but yes, sometimes I just get lost in work and forget. But yeah, appreciate all your comments, appreciate all your love, and thank you very much. So yeah, enjoy your time off for Christmas, enjoy your time with your family, and I'll pick you guys back up in the new year, where we will be getting back onto this thing at some point, because I am missing it a little bit and I want to get cracking with this again. We will be doing a little bit more with this one. How much and what we're going to be getting up to with it, I don't know just yet. But as always, we'll play it by ear and see what happens. So with that being said, as always, like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in 2024. Peace.